Good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing great.
Hello and welcome. Today we are talking about asking the right money questions. This is so important to know exactly the right money questions to ask for you and your specific financial situation. As you're coming in, please let us know where you're tuning in from. Like, comment, and share if you like what we're talking about. Tag anyone that you think could benefit from this information. So we're going to talk about what questions that you should be thinking about. Are they the right questions for you to ask financially based on where you are? Like, do you ever have that person that asks like all these random questions and they don't really pertain to anything? Like if somebody is asking, "Hey, how much does it cost to go on a private jet?" but they don't have a car or they can't afford a car, or like, how much is a gallon of milk and they're lactose intolerant. Like, you want to be asking the questions that are applicable to you that you can apply. And then also, everyone has that friend who has like all the answers to everything, all this kind of useless information. Like they have, interesting tips and facts, and they might be interesting, but you can't really like apply it to anything in your life. So we want to help you with like the things to be thinking about and asking yourself, and also when you're talking to a professional, when it comes to getting financial information that's going to help you get to the next level. You want to know like, hey, let's be efficient with your time and your energy and get the right information so you can actually apply it and get to the next level in your life.
Yeah, so very important when it comes to money, finances, all these different things. The quality of your questions will help determine the quality of your result. You just got to move a little closer for TikTok.
Well,
So the quality of your questions will actually help to determine the quality of your outcome and what you're going for. So we get asked a lot of questions. I get DM'd a lot, asked a lot about money, finances, different things like that. So because people think we know a thing or two about this money and finances things, but it's very important. I came to America from Liberia, West Africa, 20 years ago, 22 years ago, and so I wanted to understand and learn what rich people did, and I didn't have anybody who would teach me. So now today with social media, you have like an overwhelming amount of information, and you don't know if this person's correct, that person's correct. So it's important for you to understand asking the right questions that pertains to your situation. So I'll give you an example. Sometimes people will reach out and they'll say, "How do I reduce my taxes?" And then I'll ask them, "Hey, what is your income? What's your income now?" And they're like, "Oh, well," they tell me their income. I'm like, "Dude, you're in the lowest tax bracket. You're it's not going to help you trying to reduce your taxes. You need to ask yourself a different question." So those are some of the things we're going to be talking about today. What are the right questions to be asking? What are the things you need to be thinking about based on where you are financially, so you can actually get the best result that you're going for? All right.
yes. And, really our goal is to help you build an unbreakable financial house. And that means you can handle anything financially, no matter what happens. And it's more than even just being able to handle things financially, but really so you can create the life that you want to live. You can make the impact that you want to make in your life, your family's life, your community, and beyond, as big as you can imagine. So it really starts with building and having a strong foundation in your own finances, knowing what makes up your financial house and what areas that you need to strengthen, and what are the specific steps that you need to take in order to strengthen your financial house and reach your financial goals. So we're going to tell you some questions that can help you to do that. The first one that you want to ask yourself is, do I know how much money is coming in and where my money is going? So like, do you know what's coming in and what's going out? A lot of people have no idea. They don't know how much money is coming into their household or their business, if they're business owners, and then they don't know where it's going. And so you've got to have a way to track what is coming in and going out so that you know what's happening with your money. And I'll give you a quick tip. If you don't currently have anything that you're using to track your cash flow, money coming in, money going out, you can, maybe if you like move the computer back a little bit, then it will not only show just a quarter of our face. So if you're not using something right now to track the money coming in and out of your household or your business, you can go to mint.com. Mint.com, mint.com. It's a free tool, and it will help track and categorize like where all of your money is going in. You can see very clearly what's coming in, and you can see what's going out and where it's going. So then you can start to organize and see what the heck are you spending money on. If you're a business owner, then you may want to use some other tools. There's like, I use Excel spreadsheet. There's also QuickBooks. There's a lot of different tools that will help you organize. But first, you got to know where you are. Know where you are, what's coming in, where it's going. And then you can start to make decisions about, okay, what do I need to do with this extra money that I have? Or I need some extra money.
And by the way, if you have any financial questions while we're talking about this, feel free to drop it in the comments. We're talking about asking the right financial question, asking the right money questions. What are some things about money you've wanted to know, or you were unsure about, or you just never had anybody explain it to you properly in a way that you can understand? The financial industry uses a lot of financial words that are confusing to people. So they might use a word you don't understand. And if you don't understand a word, you're not going to understand the subject, because now you just went past the word. Now you're stuck on that word. So it's very important that when you have questions about something, or you hear things people are talking about, ask for clarity so you have better understanding about it. So the first thing Chelsea's talking about, doesn't matter if it's a household or a business, you need to know how your cash flow is flowing. A lot of business owners don't have a balance sheet. They don't have a profit and loss statement. They don't know how much money they're making, where that money is going. You wouldn't believe how many business owners I talk to. People who have multi-million-dollar businesses that'll say, "Oh, this person stole from me," or "I had somebody working and this something went here. This person stole this much from me. That person stole that much from me." And sometimes it went along for a long period of time. That would be extremely difficult for somebody to do in our business, because everything is watched. We know where everything's flowing. So for some money to just go missing, it will be extremely difficult. And so there's checks and balances and all kinds of things like that. You have to do the same thing at the business level and at the household level, so that you know where your money's going, where it's flowing to, and so that you can be in control of it. And it's not just an exercise. A lot of times, and it doesn't mean somebody doesn't know where the money's going because they have a little bit of money. We had a client who was like, Scott made about $2 million a year, and very undisciplined with his money. And so his thing he wanted to do was he wanted to give us some amount of money every year and place those assets with us. And then he's like, "I'm going to come to you. I'm going to ask you for the money. Here's what I want you to do." He said, "I want you to smack my hand and tell me no." I'm like, "Dude, no, I'm not your babysitter. I'm not your daddy." And this was somebody in there. I'll give you an age range. This was somebody over 60, but they had not learned the discipline to understand where their money was going to control it. They wanted to put the blame on me to then control the money for them. That's not my responsibility. You have to have certain things yourself that you understand and what you're doing. Otherwise, you're never going to build substantial wealth. This is somebody who could have built far more wealth than they have because they had massive cash flow. So that's one of the first things, understanding what's coming in and going out when it comes to your cash flow.
Yes. So someone said, I have it written down. So that's awesome that you track what's coming in and what's going out. So then the next step to that would be get it to be electronically. Like if you're handwriting what's coming in and going out, that is excellent. It's good that you have something. And this is what we're talking about, asking the right questions, because having a baseline, knowing where you're at. Like if you're not tracking anything, okay, check out mint.com. If you're writing it down, okay, so check out mint.com, because also it will categorize, it securely connects to all your accounts. It can't do anything to your accounts. It's made by the same company who makes QuickBooks, so it's secure. And it just observes. It just basically categorizes everything. And so it will give you like graphs and charts. and it'll tell you you spent this much on, gas or eating out or groceries or mortgage or advertising or whatever categories that you spend on. And that way you can actually see visually. It's kind of a way to take it to the next step. So then from mint.com, if you're using that, then you could graduate to something like QuickBooks. There's QuickBooks Online, desktop, there's Excel spreadsheets. So there's always like another level that you can take what you're doing now and then improve upon it and take it to the next level. So good job on writing it down. Check out mint.com and let me know how that goes for you. So the second one is the second question to ask yourself when it comes to money is, how do I increase my income or business revenue? So now that you know what's coming in and going out, you have a good idea if you have extra money left over or if you don't have extra money left over. Either way, whether you have extra money or you don't, you want to look at ways to increase your cash flow. Whether you work for a company or whether you own a company, there are always ways that you can look at how to increase your revenue, your income, or your business revenue. And so some ways to do that. Now, you may hear a lot of people talk about multiple streams of income and passive income, and you want 700 streams of income, and it all sounds great, but then you have to look at what does it take to implement it. And if you are working full time, then you have to look at, well, what time do you have to build something else? And is it going to be something in a line with what you're doing, or is it going to be something totally different? And so one of the things that we always recommend is to look at how can you strengthen and increase where you already are. So if you're working for a company, how can you make yourself more valuable to that company? How can you increase your skill level? How can you take on more responsibility? How can you take on more ownership of the role that you're currently in? How can you grow into a bigger role? And then if you're a business owner, what are some ways that you can increase the value that you provide your clients or your customers? And also, how can you increase the value that you provide to the people working in your company? Like, what opportunities for growth are there to help them to be more engaged in the company and want to grow and want to help the company flourish and prosper?
Yeah, and by the way, we tell people this is something here. We tell everybody if there is a course or something you want to take that will enhance your productivity, enhance your skill level, let us know. And on the company's expense, depending on the range or what the expense is, we will pay for them to take the course. You know how many people have actually taken us up on that? Zero. Big fat zero. Nobody has yet said, yes, there's a course I've identified I would like to take. It would enhance my skills in this way so that I can be more productive with the company. If you're more productive with the company, you end up moving in senior roles. You end up moving in senior roles, you end up being positioned to make more money. Yet zero people have actually found a course that says, this is a course I would like to take to enhance our role. I'm not picking on anybody. I'm just giving you guys the facts and the truth of how these things work, because every business owner, and a lot of business owners now, we talk about this all the time about, okay, my primary role is to ensure the financial survival of my business and my household. There's the business, there's the household. If you are your number one role, if you have a family, you have dependents, the number one thing is to ensure your survival, your household survival. If you're a business owner, you have to ensure the survival of your business. Then the prosperity, high levels of prosperity. And the only way your business succeeds is, number one, you do well by your clients and you do well by your staff. Not everybody starts off with having people that works or employees or anything like that. Is then you figure out how to continue to create more opportunities within your business. Everybody who is worth anything, everybody's worth something. Anybody who's productive wants to grow. Anybody who's productive, they don't want to stay stagnant. They want to grow. They want to take on more responsibilities. And if they don't, very quickly, they will get moved out of our company. So I want you to understand that as a business owner, you have to be looking at how to create more and more opportunities, more ways for revenue, because your staff's going to want to grow and expand. Everybody does. And that's how you maintain and keep good people. So, yeah.
So if you guys like this content, if it's valuable for you, please like, comment, and share. Tag somebody who could benefit from this information. And also, if you guys are watching on a different platform besides YouTube, that's our main area that we're going to be building our show and our content. So we encourage you, if you're not already subscribed to our page, it's Martin and Chelsea Matthews on YouTube. And you can also click notify so that you'll be notified anytime we go live and when we have new content as well.
So I want to spend a little bit more time on this one. Hey, Taylor, thanks for watching. Always enjoy watching you guys. On the third one.
Oh, well, so let's get to it so we can spend some time on it.
Yeah.
Okay, so the third question, this is actually, so we talked about 2 questions to ask yourself, the right money questions is, do I know what's coming in and going out? And how do I increase my revenue, whether working for a company or owning a company? And then the third question, this is when you're looking at talking to a professional, financial professional, some things to think about, because we need some information about you before we give any recommendations. And so it's important to, when you're asking for advice, recommendations, or like, hey, you know, how do I get to the next level? We got to know what level you're at to be able to help you to get to the next level. So here are some things, some basic information. When you're reaching out, let's say if you're reaching out to us, you're reaching out to somebody else asking for financial information, and you can say, here's some basic information about where I'm at. What are some things that I need to be thinking about? So talk about what information are you looking for when somebody reaches out and asks for financial advice?
All right. So for those of you who don't know, we own our financial business. So we have clients in 48 states. Most of our clients are affluent individuals. A lot of our business owners, affluent, high net worth, high income earners. Right. So that's generally who our financial clients are. We do a lot of free resources. We go live. All this, people can watch a lot of stuff for free. But then we have financial clients who place assets with us. So on average, depending on the type of financial vehicle we're using for them, they may be wanting our help with something related to real estate. They maybe want our help with things related to life insurance. A lot of our clients will place $60,000 to $70,000 a year with us. A lot of our clients may roll over retirement assets, generally 6 figures plus, that they'll roll over to us. Okay, so just for context. Now, because we use social media a lot to communicate with the public, and because our mission is to help people become better financially educated, a lot of people see us and then ask us a lot of questions. I get DMs a lot. I get all these different things. And so a lot of times the questions will go like this. How should I invest? What's the best investment? I'm trying to build generational wealth and take care of my family. All of these are very, very good things.
How do I save on taxes?
How do I save on taxes? How do I do this? How do I do that? Great. Imagine you go to see a doctor and you're like, which medication should I be taking? The doctor's going to know, I don't even know what the hell is wrong with you.
I want to get well.
Yeah. So you've got to, here's how an affluent person will communicate when it actually genuinely, first of all, communicate about real situations you have, not hypothetical stuff. Like you're like Chelsea was talking about. You're talking about, you're asking somebody, how do I rent a private jet? Are you actually trying to solve that problem? Discuss the problems you're actually having that you're trying to solve. Versus like, it could be like, hey, how do I hire my first employee? Just say, hey, I have a product or service. I've been doing it as a solo entrepreneur. I've been self-employed, and this is my revenue. How are there any ways I can look at? You start giving a little bit of information. Now, let me tell you something about how a professional will respond to that. If somebody is just trying to sell you on whatever crap they have, they will just start pitching you on whatever crap it is they have. If somebody is trying to genuinely help you, So in the wealth management side, because Chelsea and I have had multiple licenses, I've had a background in wealth management. We would build investment portfolios for people, all that kind of stuff. There's courses we take called Know Your Client. The reason it's called Know Your Client is because you have to know how to act in the best interest of your client. You can't act in somebody's best interest if you know nothing about them. If you don't know their financial habits, their income, how they spend money, what their income is, what their revenue is, how much to save, what their saving habits are. So the first thing a professional will do is ask you some questions. Like somebody will say, I started to make a lot of money this year. How do I save on taxes? Okay.
How much?
A professional will ask, great. I'm glad your business is growing this year. I'm glad your income's going up. What are you currently earning now? What's your current revenue now? And then you say that. And then the person will ask follow-up questions. Well, what are you doing currently to reduce your taxes? All of these things because they're trying to find out where you are. Sometimes I'm just trying to see your habits. I'm trying to see, did you even put away money for taxes or not? Or are you just blowing through all this money you just made this year? All of these different things are different things people are asking. So you look at, or people say, I want to take care of my kids, build generational wealth for my kids. I want to try to send my kids to college because I never went to college, whatever. Great. How old are your kids? What are you thinking college is going to cost? These are questions a professional will ask you. And also when I'm asking these questions, I'm also qualifying the person. I'm qualifying the person to see if they're an appropriate person for us to work with and if we are appropriate for them. We're not appropriate for everybody. So I'm gauging that. And let me tell you something about people who have a lot of money versus people who don't have a lot of money and how they answer questions and how they ask questions. Very important you ask questions the right way. Even if you don't know what to ask, it's fine to say, look, this is my situation. I don't know what I should be thinking about. What are some of the things to be thinking about? And then the professional will ask you a series of questions to help you determine what works, what's important for you. Now, one thing is sometimes somebody will reach out to me and they'll say things like, oh, my income's going up, or I'm trying to invest. I want to invest. I want to get my money to make money for me or work for me. Great. How much money do you have? And they're like, well, I don't want to say that. Dude, that means you don't. Let me tell you, when you say that, people communicate a lot of things without knowing what they're communicating. First of all, when you say that, it means you just communicated to me you're probably not serious, or you probably don't have much money. You don't want to admit it. I don't care how much money you have, but we need to know to be able to answer the questions properly. So, for example, a couple of years ago, a client came to us. I didn't know the person. They saw one of our videos and they said, hey, look, I think I'm going to have an estate tax problem. An estate tax problem is a tax problem that rich people have. If you're worth above a certain amount, generally, I think right now it's 12 million for an individual, 24 million for a couple. If your net worth is above a certain amount when you die, the government wants to take a big portion of that above that. The number changes each year, so I'm not the exact number, but that's generally the range.
That's called graveyard robbery.
Yes, graveyard robbery. So a person, whenever they come in and say, look, I think I may have an estate tax problem, my very first question is, well, what are you worth right now? And so as we were talking, the person said 60 million, but it sounded like 16 million. So I said 16 or 60? He goes, oh, no, 60 million. Okay, great. You do have an estate tax problem. What are you doing to handle the estate tax problem? So we'll walk through that scenario, right? So understand, when wealthy people are asking financial questions, they will give you the necessary information. When somebody they're resistant to give you information when they're asking you for help, that means either the person may have some embarrassment. Like sometimes people have embarrassment about money. They've made financial decisions they're not proud of. They've done things that they think they're embarrassing. People can get embarrassed by debt, all these things. I personally don't care how much debt you have. I don't care, but none of that stuff matters because
we've heard it all. Just like your doctor has heard it all. Okay, medically. We've heard it all financially.
Yeah, so you're not going to shock me, okay? You're not going to shock me how much money you have or how much debt you have. Trust me, it will never shock us. And so because we have clients with tens of millions of dollars of debt, but a debt are on assets, hundreds of millions of dollars of debt, but it's on assets, not credit cards. Okay. If you got $100 million of debt if you got $10 million of debt on a credit card, kudos to you that somebody lent you $10 million. Your income must have been super high for them to lend you $10 million on a credit card. Chances are that's not the case. You would have had a black card, which means you would have had a massive, you would have a massive amount of cash flow to sustain that. So chances are you don't have $1 million of debt on your credit card, or 2 million or 3 million. It's not going to shock us. So, but the reality is you have to get real with yourself when you're asking questions, and ask about real life situations you're dealing with. Like somebody reached out to me the other day and says, I want to double my money. Okay, this is a very, very random, vague question. You want to double your money over what period of time? Tomorrow? Tonight?
In Vegas?
In 10 years? In 1 year? What the hell does that even mean? How much money do you have? You got $1, you want to double it at $2? What are you asking for? Ask important questions based on where you are to get to where you're trying to go. Even if you don't know, the way you ask is, hey, here's my financial position. What should I be thinking about? And that's how you will get the actual answers you need. That would be helpful to you, and not some random, vague scenario, hypothetical scenario that's not to your real life.
Yeah, so a great place to start is we have a free resource for you guys that will actually help you identify. I mentioned building an unbreakable financial house. And to do that, you got to know what makes up your financial house. So there's 6 areas, 6 building blocks that make up your financial house. And being able to, 1, identify what they are, 2, identify where you are, and then 3, identify what you need to do to strengthen each one of those building blocks so that you can build an unbreakable financial house. And this will also help you. We created this as a tool for people to become more qualified to work with us if they want to. And so that way it helps you identify what areas you need to know about where you are to know, then you can start identifying, oh, I need help I need to increase my cash flow. Or I have a lot of excess cash flow and I need to know where to put it so that it can be protected and grow. And so you can identify in each one of those areas what you need to strengthen, because we don't want to just tell you do this because we're so smart. We want to help you increase your knowledge so that you could take more responsibility and have more control and really become financially empowered. You can make the right decisions for you because you know it's the right decision for you, not because we tell you. And that makes you a better client also, because we want, just like Martin was talking about, the information that he needs when qualifying somebody and determining like what the appropriate recommendation is we need to know some of this information, know where you are to be able to help you to get to the next level. So if you want to check out that free resource, it's a 30-minute course, totally free. You can go to 6buildingblocks.com/intro, 6buildingblocks.com/intro, and you can check that out. You can learn. You can learn a little bit more about what we talk about and how to get more as well. If you do want to become a client or if you want to learn more of our content, then you can go check that out. 6buildingblocks.com/intro.
Awesome. So, hey, thank you so much for watching. That's a free resource you guys can have. We go live Monday through Friday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. We talk about personal and financial development. This week, we're actually going to be doing a whole series on asking the right questions. Today is asking the right money questions. We'll discuss about asking the right retirement questions, asking the right investment questions, asking the right life insurance questions, asking the right relationship questions. Whether you're single in a relationship, how do you make a relationship work successfully? All these different things are things that you should understand. Before Chelsea and I got together, I questioned her. Why? Because I wasn't trying to waste my time.
He grilled me.
I grilled her because, look, I'm trying to qualify.
It's like
is this person going to waste my time, or is this person going to be somebody I can go and do stuff with? You know what I mean? So you should be able to do that and have the confidence to do that, especially women. I think women do not do a good job qualifying some of the guys that they date.
It's true.
That they hang out with.
We got to know our value, ladies. We put our value way down lower than it should be.
And sometimes the questions you're asked is like, oh, they're vague. They're not about the things that you're really interested in. So it's something we'll talk about during this week about asking the right relationship questions to actually identify if this is the right person for you based on what you're trying to go, and asking yourself the right questions to know which kind of person will be the best suited person for you so you make the right decisions. So anyway, well, we still stay tuned. We'll be talking about that all this week.